Hey, good morning, YouTube. Yes, it's Rod Hardman here, and it's about quarter till 6 in the morning. Have you all noticed how quickly things have changed uh, with this Ebola situation? Um, Now we're committing airstrikes into Iraq, not saying that we shouldn't, but you know what? I'm at the point of belief here that they need to fight their own battles now. We trained these soldiers over there to fight, and if they can't fight against ISIS, whatever they call themselves, um, and win the battles, then I got news for you. Then they deserve to lose. Why should we be putting American soldiers in harm's way again in Iraq after we done pulled out and turned it over to Maliki? Apparently, Maliki does not know how to run a military. He does not have a clue on how to uh, defend his own country. So, it seems to me that every time something goes wrong there, and you know what? I'm going to backstep this a little bit. This is not over ISIS. This is over oil. And so now they're talking simple fact that we need to go in there and um, protect our interest in the oil rights of Iraq. So, and Maliki refuses to sign those papers unless we come in and help them and force Maliki out of power. That's pretty much what it boils down to. And put somebody else in there that's going to do the bidding for the United States and comply with what the United States wants, is the rights to that oil. So, but let's go ahead now where I was going. Like I said, we don't need to be putting Americans in harm's way again. And it seems to me that Maliki needs to handle his own battles and stop depending on the United States for that. But like I also pointed out, this Ebola situation has quieted down quite a bit because of all this. As if you've always noticed, just like that Malaysian airliner that totally disappeared, of course, we all know that it landed. It didn't land in the water. It landed on dry land, and it's at a secret military installation. But anyway, that even disappeared after a while. People got to the point where they no longer talk about it. So, how many atrocities are we going to have before we all focus on what's the real problem here? The real problem here is right now we have undocumented aliens coming across the borders that are carrying all kinds of diseases and passing them on to our border guards, as well as American people being put at risk with these diseases. And they're not talking about they're committing more atrocities out there, so that way it takes our minds totally off of these problems until another epidemic breaks out or a pandemic breaks out, and then it becomes news headlines again. So it doesn't seem like the American people are able to stay focused on what's going on in our own country. So, and then come to find out, apparently in Mexico, they just had a person walk in to a Mexican hospital who has Ebola. And how many people did he pass that on to before he got into that hospital? In other words, from airport to airport, hundreds of thousands of people around him being exposed, as well as on each airplane that he had to transfer to. So how is the government going to track down all these people and find out who's been exposed to the Ebola virus or not? It's not going to happen, people. We got a serious crisis on our hands, and the news media is trying to take it off our minds so we don't think about it no more, so we don't talk about it no more, because now you're hearing very little, like I said, about the 2 doctors that they brought back from Africa with the Ebola, even though they said are getting better. Okay, but that doesn't sit well with me for some reason, because there's something's going to have to happen before the November elections, and I guarantee it's going to happen between now and October. It has to happen. All right, because November elections coming up. If the Democrats lose all those seats to the Republicans, and the Republicans take over the Senate, and then on top of that have the House, then Democrats don't have any leverage. They have no weight, and we can pretty much put Obama in a box and say, well, you can't do this. Okay, Republicans have to agree to it. So I think something's going to happen here with, like I said, between now and sometime October. Has to, in order for the Democrats to remain in power. Because let me put it this way: if they have a pandemic hit the United States and people start dropping like flies, what happens? The United States government at that point, the president has the power at that point to invoke martial law. All right, and not only that, he has the power to suspend the Constitution of the United States, which means he can suspend elections. When he suspends elections, what happens? People remain in their seats. They remain in power. And how long could that be for? It could be indefinite. All right. It all depends on the president. Anyway, you all weigh in on this. You all tell me what you think. Do you think that they're trying to curve our minds to something else? Or do you think that we need to be going back to Iraq and start bombing the hell out of it? Because they keep saying there's no boots on the ground over there. We got 275 Special Forces units over there right now. And those are boots on the ground, plus 600 units of Marines on the ground. Okay, so they're trying to twist everything. So which is it? Do we not have troops on the ground over there, or do we not have troops on the ground? From the last I heard, that we put more troops on the ground over there. So somebody's lying. All right. So you all weigh in on this, and you all tell me what you think is going on, what you feel that might occur, and see if you agree with my viewpoints on this. Until next time, this is Rod Hardman. You have a good day, and be safe out there, people.